Hi everybody, and welcome to the Signal Box today. Thank you very much for joining me. It's great to have you with me. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe, and we'll crack on with today's video. So tomorrow is Palm Sunday, which begins the Holy Week for those of us that celebrate the true meaning of Easter. And I'm very much looking forward to a very nice spiritual rest over the Easter break, certainly for me. And just to have a break and play with some trains, hopefully a little bit more. And today I'm going to be doing that. So I thought what I'd do today is run something I really don't run an awful lot, and I've given her a nice clean this morning as well, so she's running like a sewing machine. And here she comes now, just leaving the station over there, and she'll be coming past the windmill now. There she is, 6233 Duchess of Sutherland, and it's hauling the Royal Train today. That's the household coach in front, and behind that the late Queen Elizabeth II and the Duke of Edinburgh's coach as well. I don't normally run this, like I said, but it's quite a smart train. Okay, so simmering away on the shed is 6233, the Duchess of Sutherland, just come off that Royal Train duty. Now it's on the shed, getting a bit of water and attention. Next to it is a standard class 5, that will be out in a bit. And then, having just waited for the passage of the Royal Train, that's now gone. So we've now got that class 33, Lieutenant Jenny Lewis, is powering its way around that curve now with the rake of bullied coaches and a parcels van on the front, which looks quite nice. Blimey, I've just spotted that. I've actually just spotted that on camera. It looks like one of the locals that has a bit too many sherbets there. He's leaning at quite a precarious angle there. Oh dear, I think he's had too many. I think he'll have to go home, I think. Where is he? Where did he go? Oh, there he is. Oh, he stood up now. He's okay. He's righted himself. Good man. Right. Can't have drunken, disorderly people on my railway. There we go, that 33 powering its way round my railway today. Makes for quite a nice sight, doesn't it? Okay, so what I've done, I've taken that Class 33, Lieutenant Jenny Lewis, off that rake of bullies, which is now sitting over in the platform for waiting for a Loco changeover. So we've taken that off there. That's now just waiting at the signal. Signalman's given him the stick for the crossover. So I think what we'll do now is we'll set that across the crossover. Headlights on. Across the level crossing. Like a sewing machine, look at that, beautiful. Rumbling over the bridge into momentary darkness, out into the sunshine, just dropping down through the platform, hiding behind those houses over there. Okay, we'll hold it there. Okay, so that is now stabled over there at the end of the siding. And the great thing I like about a little design feature that I put in my railway, and I've covered this on previous videos, is about installing or having an isolated section on one or multiple sidings of your layout. So if you've got a couple of sidings going on your layout, what you use for terminating locos in a depot, for example, what you want to do is prototypically have one or more locos stabled on the same road, so they can come up close to each other but not interfere electrically with the next loco. And it's quite simple to do. You just put in a little break in the track. I've covered this in multiple videos before, I've mentioned it before, but basically what I've done, I've created an electrical break in one of the rails on the approach to that pit road there underneath the coaling stage. And now if I come down to here to my little portable control panel, if I bosh that switch over, they both light up, telling me now that I've got an unoccupied track, and that is now electrically isolated over there. I can bring anything up to that diesel and it won't move, and I can set it back the other way without that moving. But if I flick the switch back over like that, those lights drop out, that's now live, so that's now occupying that track. So that's a handy little feature that I designed, and very simple to do. But that's great, so now I can now have something come up to that diesel, in theory, not up to the buffers, but at least up to that section. Right, I think what I'll do now is make a quick cup of tea, and I spoke too soon. What's he want now? Right, he wants to send me a light engine, 2 and a 3, okay. Well, I've got nothing about, so... Okay, I've just told him you can send your light engine, clear the home signal. Right. Right, so we've reformed that service over there in the afternoon, the platform. That's ready to go. So I now need to send a request to the box down the line that sent me the light engine originally, so we'll get him to authorise that. Call of attention 1. Return back. Yep, what do you want? Okay, so I'm going to send you a class 4, which is express. You said, I've got your class 4 and my home signals are clear. Thank you very much. Right. That'll do. And leaning out my signal box window, I can see there she comes. Okay, so in the meantime, another job's come up. There's a private owner that's requested 3 vans to be taken by rail to a secret location. Although I've heard rumours that it's the children's orphanage and those 3 vans are full up with Easter eggs for the kids. So we need to get those going as soon as possible. So I think what we'll do, we'll bring the 33 out the siding. There he is. Hold him there by the start halt. Just change those points off camera and then we can bring everything back. I think we have those. We do. Easing its way out of the yard there. We'll drop down to the outlet signal. Out there. Sticks off. And away it goes. For some reason this little pannier prefers to run bunker first. Don't ask me why, but it is happy running bunker first. It does run in the opposite direction, but for some reason it does stop on that set of switches there. It doesn't like that too much, but there we go. A nice little freight train to round off the end of the day, I think. Okay guys, well it's time to say goodbye sadly, so thank you very much for watching today. I hope you all have a lovely Easter and stay blessed and stay safe wherever you are in the world watching this. And I'll be back in another video soon, most definitely over the Easter break, with another video with some more trains to run. The thing is with my railway, once it gets set up, I find there's things to do in it that I need to take care of in terms of maintenance, and little problems occur and things need attention. Sometimes that can be a 10-minute job, sometimes it can be like a 3-4 hour job. For example, I'll demonstrate or show you what happened earlier today. I thought I'd lost power between track number 1 and track number 2 via this crossover. In principle, you switch these points to the opposite direction and you can run a train from A to B across that crossover. What happened was, normally, if I want to drive a loco or a train across this crossover, I can do so powering it from track number 1, or I can actually use track number 2's power supply and use that. What was happening was, it wasn't taking power from track 2 for some reason. I checked everything, I made sure the power was okay, and what it actually was a little spring clip. If you can see what we call on the stock side of the switch, which is the, excuse my big fat finger, where is it here? This rail here is known as the stock rail. So in between there, you might see, just in between that gap between the switchblade and the stock, there's a little brass spring clip right in the middle there. And that kind of does the business end of the electrical side of the points. That when it sets over, for example, to there, although this switch rail is making contact electrically with the stock, this little tongue of brass, this little brass tongue here, has to make contact underneath the bottom of this switch rail. So what was happening was, that wasn't quite making contact, it was actually bent downwards, so I was losing power, and I had a loco that stalled across that crossover, and as soon as I got a little tiny screwdriver, and I thought that was the problem. It's the little brass tongue has come out of its relation to the bottom of the switch. So I got a little screwdriver, and hey presto, and as soon as I adjusted it, I got power. So a little 5-minute fix that was, but sometimes it can go into longer. So it wasn't too long a delay on that today, so don't worry, I've submitted a report to the line controller. But yeah, little things like that sometimes can interfere with my time that I get running trains. And don't forget, my layout isn't permanent, sadly, so all this has to go. Most of these buildings that you see, they lift off and they go into a storage box, and it all gets bubble wrapped literally every Saturday. It's like a Christmas wrapping up game. I have to wrap up all these buildings separately and individually. They all get bubble wrapped one by one and neatly put in a storage container until the next time. And there are some buildings on my layout that are permanently fixed down and are quite safe. All my trees and everything are all in place. But before I go, a little interesting fact, or a little thing about my railway. When I originally had the idea of building something to run my trains on, because I didn't have a layout at the time, I thought, okay, I'll go for a track plan. 6x4. Right, let's just have something very simple. And the whole concept of this model railway was going to be, it actually wasn't going to be a model railway. And to be honest with you, all I was going to have it for was a test track. Literally 2 ovals and a siding, and that was it. Something to sort of quickly flip out onto the bed, plug in, run the train round, test it, or, have a bit of enjoyment with it. And after about, 10 minutes, switch off, lift it back off and store it away. And it was meant to be nothing serious. I had no plans for trees or grass or ballast or buildings or anything that you see here. This wasn't even thought of. It was going to be just 2 ovals of track, a siding, and just a plug and play idea. And then, that was it. I didn't think it was not worth building a serious model railway, because I was always very scared of things getting broken off, or it was going to be a bit of a mission. But here we are, years later. Here is my model railway that I've built, and yes, it does have trees on. It does have ballast. It does have static grass. It has very fine scale detail. But the thing is, it's just something that I did because it's a natural progression, and it's like anything in the hobby. Once you start and you get the fire for something and the passion, then you have to continue. There's no holding back. And for me, it had to be all or nothing, so I went all in. So that's a bit of the backstory about where my model railway started from, and the idea. Like I said, it wasn't meant to be a serious model railway. It was meant to be just a test track on a baseboard. But I was really impressed with Model Railway Solutions in Dorset, who came up with these modular baseboard kits that my whole layout sits on. And once it was put together, and I actually laid some track down, I thought, you know what, this is going to be more than a test layout. This is going to be a serious railway, and it has turned into exactly that. So I'm glad it has. Anyway, enough said about that, and I will see you soon in the next episode of the Signal Box. And you guys take care. Thanks for watching. Take care now. Bye bye.